Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today I want to show you guys a few new screenshots for patch 3.2, The Gears of Change for Final Fantasy XIV. Now apologies if I sound a little congested, I haven't been in the best of shape the past couple of days, sore throat, stuffy nose, all that good stuff, but not going to stop me from bringing you a video about the latest screenshots for Final Fantasy XIV. Now what you're looking at here is patch 3.2 Media Kit number 2. I see the little embargo that way in the top right. It says February 11th, 2016 at 12:01 a.m. Luckily, we're past that, so let's talk about it. So there's a bunch of new screenshots here, but the very first set of new screenshots is from our good old boy Hildibrand. New side story quest: further Hildibrand adventures. O cruel cursed fate, to deliver unto us Hildibrand Helidor Maximilian Mandeville, brave inspector and gentleman of light reborn, only to snatch him away in a manner eerily similar to his original departure. To the heavens above the far-flung northern reaches did he soar, and for a time was it feared he might never be seen again. Yet Nashu, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, Makaraka, as a fervent believer in the Inspector, and gravity besides, still has faith that he will return. Her search now leads her to the holy sea of Ishgard, where she hopes to find the missing man and perhaps a case. Ooh, and as you can see, we have Hildibrand over here, and it looks like Godbert is about to smack him silly. That's what it looks like to me right behind him. On top of that, we have a little black mage automaton thing, very akin to the automatons we saw in the Anti-Tower, so very interested to see that. Moving on, we have more from the Alexander Midas preview. This was already shown on the Lodestone as well. Showcases a few bosses here. You can see there is what looks to be a mad goblin scientist, and it looks like he's actually transformed into a bugbear here in the bottom left. Those of you who played Final Fantasy XI know that bugbears were giant slaves. This actually looks like this guy transformed and like gave himself like a mutagen or something to turn into a giant hulking beast. Now it still could be called a bugbear, but it doesn't. I don't know if that's like the slave way that it was in Final Fantasy XI. It's gonna be interesting to see because it does. There are some slight differences in the coloration of their mask, but that could be because of the mutagens. Also, you can see this phase transforming thing right here. And at the end of the video, I'll actually give you a close-up on a lot of these screenshots, so don't worry if you can't see them very well right now. We also have the Alexander Midas gear, the Midan gear as it's called. We have the fending on the left, the scouting, then we have the maiming, healing, and casting. The only ones we don't see are the aiming and the striking. So I think this set looks a little bit nicer than the ones that we had back for Gordius. It's a lot more cloth-like. It still has the metal aspects to it. I mean, obviously embrace the metal. But I'm liking these a little bit more than Gordius. They still don't seem like anything too crazy unique, but I think they just look nice. Moving on, Stone Sky Sea. These are the new, what are they called? The new striking dummies that are going to be able to be used to test to see if you have enough DPS to beat individual fights. So basically what it is let's say you want to test your DPS for A4 Savage. Do I have enough DPS personally? You go into Stone Sky Sea, and you press the dummy. You say, I want to test the dummy for A4 Savage. And then all of a sudden you'll be able to do it. If you beat the dummy, that means you should have a satisfactory amount of DPS. Theoretically, a satisfactory amount of DPS to take on A4 Savage. You'll be able to do this with a lot of different fights, so it'll be a good way of testing your skills before you decide to go into some of these harder fights. Beast Tribe quests, we have more Nath. We've seen some of these already. We have what looks to be a dragonfly mount. Some screenshots from the story, some of the vendors. There was also a preview of this. We spoke about it on State of the Realm. Don't really need to say too much more. And here on the final part, we actually have the Alexander and Tomestones of Lore gear. We have a few new pieces here. Now, I find it interesting it's called Iconic gear, because didn't we already establish that icons and primals aren't the same thing? And I know there's going to be a debate about that in the comment section now, but it's part of the Warring Triad thing, where it's not just that the Garleans call them icons and it's a derogatory term. Icons literally were something that existed a long time ago. So we have the monk gear on the left. We've seen this already. Let me just bring it up over here. There we go. That way you can see the whole thing. Alright, perfect. Now you can see the monk on the left-hand side, the Hellfire attire of striking. You have the Garuda set for Dragoon, the Slipstream attire of maiming. You have the Leviathan set for ninjas, the Torrent attire of scouting. And you have the Shiva set for the casters, the Hailstorm attire of casting. Now that leaves us with Titan, who's probably going to be fending, and Ramu, who's probably going to be healing. On top of that, we still need aiming. So it's interesting to me. I wonder if they're going to reuse any of these, or if Good King Moggle Mog is... No, you don't think they're going to make Good King Moggle Mog healing or aiming, do you? Oh, no, that's why they haven't shown us it yet. There's also the possibility Bismarck or Ravana could be used. There's also the possibility... I'm not going to say... I don't think there's a possibility Odin can be used. They're not going to use Bahamut again either. Phoenix, I doubt it. So we're probably looking at those sets, yeah. I think these sets look really cool. These are some of the cooler sets they've designed. I like my Ninja set very much so, the Scouting. And I think the Dragoon set looks badass, even though Garuda's, you know, a chick, and that doesn't really show in the armor. I think it's a pretty badass looking set of armor, especially that lance, dude. Look at that thing. Now I'm going to blow up some of these screenshots on the screen for you right now, especially some of the ones that were up at the parts above. And while I'm doing that, take this time to like, favorite, subscribe, and share the video. Hey, my favorite thing to say at the end of every video. Also, be sure to comment on what you think of some of this new armor that you saw here. And if you want to check out any of the screenshots individually, I'll include a link to where you can find them in the description of the video. But anyway, while you guys enjoy the rest of the screenshots, I'm going to get going. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care.